guys, it's April and it's time for my monthly recommendation. I know you guys are all super excited about it. I will link all the information down below about the monthly recommendation group in case you're interested in finding more recommendations or you just want to create your own recommendations list. All the information down below. And this month's topic is underrated books. So, monthly recommendation group has been around for officially 3 years now. So we decided to go back and do our first topic and maybe see if we had more to add to our list. I will link my original list down below and above my head for you guys to click and cringe at how awkward of a human being I was 3 years ago. It's awkward. That also means that I have more books to talk to you about. Since then, I have gone through the 3 years that I have been reading on BookTube, and I've picked some of my favorites that I don't feel enough people talk about. That is what this list is. I've only got 5, but I think it's a pretty good list anyways. The first book I want to talk about is Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I have heard a ton of people talk about Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn series, and I love the Mistborn series. It is amazing. It's got all of Brandon Sanderson's wonderful writing. I don't hear a lot of people talk about Way of Kings, which is part of the Stormlight Archives. This series has all of Brandon Sanderson's quintessential writing style and his world building and this epic magical system that evolves around shard blades. But then it takes it to this really interesting place. I can't go into a lot of it here, but it is a high fantasy that deals in this world where there's shard blades and these shard plates. There are countries that are at war with each other, and there are these creatures that society is trying to battle and trying to figure out what the heck is going on. It deals with a very interesting magical system. If you like high fantasy and political games, war games, anything of that nature, and just redemption stories, this book, this series is just on point. There are a lot of characters in this series that I love to death. Yes, Brandon Sanderson just really does character development very, very well. The next recommendation I have is Version Control by Dexter Palmer. This takes a look at alternate reality, changing time, writing programs, future technology, and what it does to the human psyche. It goes into a very weird place that you just have to read it to understand it. All of this is centered around a causality violation device, which, time machine. It's all you need to know. This book, Time Machine. I have talked about this book several times on my channel just because I loved it to death, and that is Neverland by Sherry Arnold. I did a full review over this book. I will link it everywhere as per usual, but I got this book for review and it just blew me away. It is a Peter Pan reimagining that takes a look at how close loss can affect you and how dealing with that is just all over the place, and it takes the Peter Pan aspects and it weaves it into this very heartbreaking story. It is so well done. Still to this day, bits and pieces of it come back to me and just like, yes, this is a Peter Pan reimagining done well. And I am very, very picky about my Peter Pan retellings and reimaginings. Extremely picky. And of course, I have to mention Soliversia by Toby Downton just because this book deals with virtual reality in a way that scientifically makes sense, engineerily makes sense. I don't even know if engineerily is a word. The backing behind all of the technology is on point, which is why I keep bringing this book back up, because there are a lot of books out that are dealing with virtual reality and all of that space, but they don't necessarily fully think about physics involved in all of that. Soliversia does this so well, but it's done in such an entertaining way. The games that go on in this book. It's a story about a year-long competition set in virtual reality, but it's got some real-world story going on in the background as well that's woven into this game. This is how a virtual reality book should be written. And so I will continue to say that, you know, if you like that space, if you like looking into that technology, if you like stories centered around that, I highly recommend this book. Of course, I've done a full review if you want more information. Once again, linked everywhere. I feel like I'm just linking stuff today. You're welcome. And last but not least, I had to bring this book up because this graphic novel is absolutely amazing. This is The Thrilling Adventures of Lovelace and Babbage by Sydney Padu. I have always been very interested in Ada Lovelace. She is considered one of the first programmers, and the fact that she's a woman, I've just connected with her since I am in the computer science field myself. So when I saw that this graphic novel existed, yes please. Originally, I checked it out from the library, but I loved it too much to not have it in my own hands. It is a hilarious take on what Lovelace and Babbage could have done if the universe was just slightly different and things just didn't go epically wrong. They kind of did. It is a bunch of little mini adventures with Lovelace and Babbage and some of the technology that they were working on at the time, and I like it. I like it so much. The depiction of Ada, who's this no-nonsense engineer, she just does what she wants to do, no matter what the gender norms are for the time. And yes, I did do a review on this book too. Yeah. So those are some books I think are highly underrated and need to be talked about more. Tell me down below if you have a book that you just think needs a lot more talking about, just needs a lot more word of mouth promotion. Tell me down below, and I heart you beautiful faces. Bye.